So today our topic is how Krishna is reciprocate to his devotees. It's very important to understand how Krishna is seeing his devotees. We will also go through today that who are devotees, what are the benefit of being a devotee, what are the results, and how Krishna reciprocates to his devotees as well. So I found a nice verse in Bhagavad Gita, which is 4.11 in Bhagavad Gita from Bhagavad Gita. Yes, Krishna, this chapter is titled as Transcendental Knowledge. So Krishna revealing the absolute knowledge or transcendental knowledge. So Krishna is telling to Arjuna that Ye yada mam prabadhyande tam stadaiva bhajamyaham mama vartamanu vartande manushya partha sarvashaha. Ye yada mam prabadhyande tam stadaiva bhajamyaham mama vartamanu vartande manushya partha sarvashaha. Ye yada mam prabadhyande tam stadaiva bhajamyaham mama vartamanu vartande manushya partha sarvashaha. The word by word meaning of this: all who, yada as, mam unto me, prabadhyandi surrendered, tan them, tada so, eva certainly, bhajami reward, aham I, mama my, vartama path, anuvartade follow, manushyaha all men, partha O son of Pradha, sarvashaha in all respects. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pradha. I'll repeat that translation. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pradha. Perfect. Everyone is searching for Krishna in different aspects of his manifestations. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is partially realized in his impersonal Brahma Jyotir effulgence and as the all-pervading super soul dwelling within everything, including the particles of atom. But Krishna is fully realized only by his pure devotees. Please note this word. But Krishna is fully realized only by his pure devotees. Consequently, Krishna is the object of everyone's realization, and thus anyone and everyone is satisfied according to one's desire to have him. In the transcendental world also, Krishna reciprocates with his pure devotees in the transcendental attitude, just as the devotees wants him. One devotee may want Krishna as Supreme Master, another as his personal friend, another as his son, and still another as his lover. Krishna rewards all the devotees equally, according to their different intensities of love for him. In the material world, the same reciprocations of feelings are there, and they are equally exchanged by the Lord with the different types of worshippers. The pure devotees, both here and in the transcendental abode, associate with him in person. See, please note that. The pure devotees, both here and in the transcendental abode, associate with him in person and are able to render personal service to him, or service to the Lord, and thus derive transcendental bliss in his loving service. As for those who are impersonalists and who want to commit spiritual suicide by annihilating the individual existence of the living entity, Krishna helps also by absorbing them into his effulgences. Such impersonalists do not agree to accept the eternal blissful personality of Godhead. Consequently, they cannot relish the bliss of transcendental personal service to the Lord, having extinguished their individuality. Some of them, who are not firmly situated in the impersonal existence, return to this material field to exhibit their dormant desire for activities. They are not admitted into the spiritual planets, but they are again given a chance to act on the material planets. For those who are fruitive workers, the Lord awards the desired results of their prescribed duties as the Yajneshwara, and those who are yogis seeking mystic powers are awarded such powers. In other words, everyone is dependent for success upon His mercy alone, and all kinds of spiritual processes are but different degree of success on the same path. Please note that. Everyone is dependent for success upon His mercy alone, and all kinds of spiritual processes are but different degrees of success on the same path. Unless, therefore, one comes to the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness, all attempts remain imperfect. Please note that. One comes to the highest perfection of Krishna consciousness, all attempts remain imperfect, as it is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.10. Akama sarva kama va moksha kama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena ejate purusham param. Whether one is without desire, the condition of the devotees, or the desires of all fruitive results, or is after liberation, one should with all efforts try to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead for complete perfection, culminating in Krishna consciousness. I'll read that again. Whether one is without desire, the condition of the devotees, or is desires of all fruitive results, or is after liberation, one should with all efforts try to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead for complete perfection, culminating in Krishna consciousness. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stabidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadadi Supadandigam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yudapadagamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunadhanidam Tam Sajivam Sadhvidam Savadudam Parijana Sahidam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalidam Shri Vishaghanidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpade Govesha Govika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Krishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Padidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Sahana Vavadu Sakana Bhunaktum Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinamadidastu Ma Vidurshavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Tatsad Om Tatsad Om Tatsad. Hare Krishna. So this verse is quite clear how Krishna reciprocates to his devotees. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. So this is the point. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pruta. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that everyone is searching for Krishna in different aspect of his manifestations. So everybody is searching for Krishna one way or other. Materialists think that whatever they are doing is that is everything. So they are completely illusioned by this material nature. They think that this is everything. They also see something in it. But on the other hand, the devotees of Krishna understand this clearly. What is this all about? There's a difference between a spiritualist, a devotee, or a non-devotee. Non-devotee goes with this understanding of this material world, but they don't go beyond that. They just see the peripheral of what is this all nature. As some may say that this is come from the dust. There were lots of dust in the beginning, and then later it's all became planets, and then by accidentally, and it's all broken apart, and it's all made this universes and all likes that. They also see that something is there, but they don't know what is exactly about it. So they just come up with lots of theories. They come up with lots of arguments, and they're on philosophies, and but they are not even sure about that what it's all about. But on the other hand, the devotees of Krishna, they realize, they understand, they come to the conclusion of everything that they perceive that within themselves, and they experience and they realize that what is all about. So that's the first difference between the materialist or a non-devotee and a devotee. Devotee can perceive, understand. How it is possible? Krishna gives the intelligence. In the 15th chapter, Krishna says that I am seated in everyone's heart. I am seated in everyone's heart. And in this verse, Krishna says that I reward them accordingly how they surrender unto me. Right? So it is very, very important that to understand this transcendental knowledge that Krishna is the Supreme, and He is the cause of all the causes. He is the source of all the sources. Everything comes from Him. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mataha sarva pravartade. This devotees can understand. These devotees can perceive and realize this. So it's very, very important that to become a devotee. And there are wonderful results, and how Krishna reciprocates to his devotees. So that's what it is we want to take that today's the topic, how Krishna reciprocates his devotees. Right? So we know that in many, many ways that devotees initially, start with his own spiritual activities by the mercy of devotees, other devotees, or by the mercy of the Lord, and somehow or other he comes to the spiritual path. So, but he is still not clear. He is in just the beginning state, and such devotees are known as neophyte. Neophyte means one who is just begin in the devotional path and devotional services. He vaguely understand that, yes, there is a Lord, there is a Supreme Lord, but he is not sure about it. He's not sure about that, who is the Supreme Lord. I mean, he must have heard about that. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, or Vishnu is the Supreme Lord. Some people believe that, many forms of the Lord, many avatars of the Lord. But he's not sure. He's a little confused. Whom should I worship? Many people ask this question. There are many names, many Lord, many gods. Whom should I worship? Likes that. So there is a confusion is there. But his faith, that's where it started. In the Srila Rupa Goswami, in the Nectar of Devotion, is mentioned that if he follows Krishnanushilanam, or he follows the path of other devotees, he engages in his devotional service even without any motive or without any kinds of desiring for any results or looking for any results, what would happen? Gradually, he can get purification. He get purified. So then he get purified, then he is getting more understanding of this, spiritual topic, or he gets this transcendental knowledge by the mercy of devotees and Krishna. Now he can realize and experience that the effect, the effect of devotion and the results of the devotion, and he can gradually get into it. That's my topic also today. How a devotee can become a pure devotee. So, and how Krishna reciprocate according to this each level of devotees. So I mentioned that, devotees when begins, it's starting with it's known as neophyte. It's not sure much about, but by understanding the scriptures, by following the other devotees' path, and then engaging in the devotion by the orders, by the instructions, by the mercy of the devotees, gradually he come to the path of devotion. Then somewhat in his heart that he picks up this. He gets some taste, he gets some little bliss of it out of it, and he now engage in his devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So such devotees are known as neophyte or Kanishta Adhikari. Then there is Madhyama Adhikari. He goes little further, advanced in his spiritual, activities, and seeing the Supreme Lord and engaging himself in his loving service of the Supreme Lord, understanding of it, and he is firmly fixed now. The Kanishta Adhikari or the neophyte is not fixed in the devotional service. He can change any time. If somebody comes up and talks about something bad, about something not clear, I mean, he is, perplexed, or he is fluctuated. He is not fixed. But the Madhyama Adhikari is fixed in his devotion and his understanding of the scriptures, and he can easily answer. If somebody comes up with some argument, he can easily, reply to that with his firm conviction. So Madhyama Adhikari has fixed his devotion, and he has a firm conviction of the Supreme Lord and all about this transcendental knowledge. And then we come to the state of Uttama Adhikari or a pure devotee. So here then is a wonderful topic to discuss, and Sri Rupa Goswami mentioned about that, the results of becoming a pure devotee. And there are 6 results of becoming a pure devotee, and how Krishna reciprocates to his devotees. So here the 6 results of becoming a pure devotee is, the one is actually known as Kleshagni. Kleshagni is known as pure devotional service bring immediate relief from all kinds of material desires. So Krishna makes sure that Krishna reciprocate according to that devotee's level of the pure devotion, and that brings Kleshagni, means brings immediate relief from all kinds of material disease or distress. So we know that the distress or suffering of a human, of a living entity, is mainly come from within himself, because of his greed, because of his anger, because of his lust, because of his enviousness, because of his arrogance and illusion. These are the major factors a person is in distress, because it's starting is this called the Adhyatmiga Klesha or Adhyatmiga Klesha. That means it is within himself, and there is Adi Bhaudik, and that's externally, and Adi Devik, that means from the gods. There are many kinds of Klesha, we get it. So this Adhyatmika Klesha means that's the most that everybody is going through, because of, in many cases, many people, or even somebody said something, or he did something to others, he said something, and if we are always into this ego, the false ego, the ahangar, that I am something, and if somebody is not up to my desire or up to my intention, and then things are kind of very much distress each and everybody. So, but when we come and understand this transcendental knowledge and come a little more closer to Krishna, and when we perform this devotional service, loving devotional service, Krishna makes sure that the devotees come to the right platform of understanding and what is all about. So as I mentioned earlier, the difference between non-devotee and a devotee. So Krishna making all these arrangements, Krishna reciprocates to that devotees, and he comes out of this and he understands this proper knowledge that this distress, enviousness, this arrogance and the lust, greed, all is actually arises from the sense perceptions, is all the aftermath of the results of this material contamination, of the material attachment, that we get it and we gradually come out of it. So taking this devotional service and Krishna reciprocate, Krishna making sure that devotees actually come out of it and come up with the right understanding that enviousness doesn't yield any results. Lust is just a material, disease, and entanglements is create more and more, entanglement in this material world, and then it does not yield any results. And arrogance, what it creates more arrogance. If somebody is arrogant, it creates more arrogance. If somebody is envious, it creates more enviousness. If somebody is it creates another anger. That's what we can see around in this world. Somebody is anger to another person, that person is anger to the this same person, and that creates, it's like a, this fusion. It's a chain reactions. The fusion, it happens. It creates so much of havoc in this world. It all starts from within. So how we can free from the distress is actually that devotees, when you engage in the loving devotional services, Krishna is making sure that the devotees come out from this, the distress or kleshatmi. And another is actually subhada. Krishna makes sure that everybody goes through all auspiciousness. So in the devotee's life, when they participate, when they engage in the loving devotional services, they come to the state of very sincere and pure devotion to the Supreme, that things we can see that it's all manifesting, becoming very auspicious things in his life. The first thing is actually his distress. He is free from his distress, and he is blissful and happy. Is his endeavor, and we can see that so many symptoms of the devotees, and we can see that he's good with other living entities, sees all living entities equal, and does not engage into this these abominable activities. He free from the sinful reactions, and all auspiciousness come to his life. That's the another result of the Krishna is making, reciprocating to these devotees, that to make sure that the devotees goes through this auspiciousness. Doesn't mean that we have lots of how Krishna reciprocate, like we know that the Gita Panda, that how Krishna, Gita Panda was very much in, he was always engaged to read Bhagavad Gita and always engaged in his devotional services. And in the house, and there is nothing. He is not so interested to earn so much of money. And then there is a drought came, and everybody is starving. And then Gita Panda was even least bothered about that his children, and making sure that the necessary groceries and ingredients at the home, and everybody starving. The Gita Panda's wife was insisting and instructing her husband, that go out, get something, and he was least bothered, but he was more absorbed in Krishna. And then later what happened, and by the words of his wife, and he went out. By this time, two boys came to this Gita Panda's house with a full load of ingredients and lots of groceries and foodstuffs, and with on their shoulder came to the home. And this lady, the wife of this Gita Panda, surprised, and these two boys came with a lot of foodstuffs and ingredients. And this lady asked to these two boys, who asked you to come, who asked you to bring this? These two boys said that your husband, and he is our spiritual master, our guru, he instructed to bring this to us, bring this to the our house, your house. And then they just left. And then this wife of this Gita Panda took all this stuff inside, and then Gita Panda came with empty hand. And by this time, this wife of this Gita Panda made a wonderful feast with all this stuff, and then he was surprised. So who made this and who brought this one? And Gita Panda was inquiring to his wife, who brought this? And his wife explained all this, and Gita Panda asked how they look like. And this wife of his Gita Panda said, one is black and another is a white in the complexion. They were so beautiful and to see. And I was even wondering, how do you have these two kinds of disciples? And Gita Panda said, disciples? Which disciples? Yeah, there's two boys. They said, that you are their guru, spiritual master. He said, I don't have any disciples like that. I don't have anybody. And he realized and understood that this is none other than the Krishna and the Balaram. So Krishna makes sure, and Krishna also promises that in Bhagavad Gita, Ananya Chindayando Mam Ye Jana Mam Pariyupasade Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogatshemam Vahamyaham. The pure devotees who have engaged in my loving devotional services, I provide them what they lack, and I carry them what they have. I provide them what they lack. Krishna's promise, Krishna is giving this. This is called Subhada. Krishna makes sure that the devotees are, goes through auspiciousness. And we can see that around the world. They are not greedy. Krishna makes sure that their needs are fulfilled, but not the greeds. But Krishna always makes sure that the devotees' needs are fulfilled. And Krishna makes sure that the auspiciousness is there. And then also Sudurlabha. Rupa Goswami mentioned the nectar of devotion, which is Sudurlabha. Sudurlabha means even this one who is in the platform of devotional service, and this devotional service is very rare to achieve. Very rare to achieve the devotional service. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is mentioning this. One who chants the holy name and using his tongue, he is the greatest of the human or any living entities in this world. Greatest of greatest. Because after many lifetimes of the pious deeds and the credits, that one who is coming to this platform or one who is able to chant the holy name using his tongue, and he is a great personality, he is a great devotee of the Lord. So this is very rarely achieved. This devotional service is very rarely achieved in the human life. And one who has this human life, and assume that this is a mercy of Krishna. This is the mercy. This is the way Krishna reciprocated that devotee's sincere heart, and Krishna makes sure that the devotee progresses in his life. And that exactly mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, that if you take one step, oh Arjuna, I will take 100 steps that to bring that devotee back to me. And we know that the story of Gopakumara in Bhagavad-amrita, I'm not getting into that. And if you get time, you just read the story of a Gopakumara. And Krishna makes sure that this devotee progresses in the spiritual path. Krishna reciprocate. And this is called Sudurlabha. Sudurlabha means even this devotional service is very rarely, and we can see that in the world. There are 7.6 billions of the people in the world, and how many takes this holy name? How many engages in this loving devotional service? How many understand that there is a Supreme Lord? It's very difficult, but by the Krishna's mercy, that this is achieved. The devotional service is Krishna's mercy. Always remember, and how valuable it is, how valuable, and there's no words to express that, how much valuable it is. We know that the story of Sanatana Goswami and the jewel, right? There was a businessman, and he realized some extent, and what he was doing for all his life, and he wanted to surrender everything. He wanted to get the mercy of Srila Sanatana Goswami, wanted to understand the spiritual science, and he came and to Sanatana Goswami and paid the obeisances, and talked to Sanatana Goswami, please bless me so that I can understand, I can become your devotee, and and there is so that I can liberate myself, and all these motives are there, and likes that. And then he also brought a jewel that is a great valuable jewel, and offered to Sanatana Goswami, and then then offered to Sanatana Goswami, and Sanatana Goswami mentioned that, what is this value of this one, and I am not happy with it, but I am so happy, I'm so blissful, and I have so much of wealth and value that I have. This is nothing compared to that. Just throw it into the backyard. And then this person was looking and asking for that and searching for that. What is which is more valuable than this in this life? And he was asking and inquiring about this to Sanatana Goswami, and Sanatana Goswami mentioning to this person that there is much bigger and blissful, which brings blissfulness and happiness into life, which is more valuable than anything in this world, is just loving devotion for the Supreme Lord, which is cannot compare in this material with anything which is material. So then this devotee understand, and then surrendered to the lotus feet, and got the holy name from the Sanatana Goswami, and became a great devotee of the Lord. So the mercy of the Lord is there. Only those who can have the mercy of the Lord and the devotees, that Krishna reciprocate to that devotees that sincerely engaging in his loving devotional service, Krishna award them. Krishna award them that how they surrender unto Krishna. And that's Krishna reciprocate his devotees with his Sudurlabha, that's giving the loving devotion to the Supreme, gives that to the Supreme Lord, to the devotees. Then the next result is actually Krishna reciprocate with Moksha Lakuta Krita. Moksha Lakuta Krita means these devotees in the pure devotional service understand that, perfectly, that what is this moksha and what is this liberation. This is this is nothing but just the aftermath of just a what is called nothing compared to the pure devotional, pure love for Krishna. Yes, there is moksha lakuta krita, it is there, it is part of the devotional activities, and it's by default. Bhukti and mukti, it is mentioned that the subservient of the devotees, those who are even engaged into the bhava bhakti, and those are even engaged in the bhava bhakti or sadhana bhakti, and even little progress on the sadhana bhakti with raga, with the spontaneous love for Krishna, this is easily granted for the devotees. Krishna reciprocate, there is no doubt into that. So Krishna reciprocate accordingly how they surrender. That is the point. So moksha lakuta krita, even the liberation, they don't deride the pure devotees, even they don't deride of this, this liberation, moksha. And it's very insignificant for the pure love compared to the pure love of the Lord. And we know that when the Srimad Bhagavatam starts, these sages assembled in Naimisharanya and asked this question, and what is the objective of the Srimad Bhagavatam? The objective of the Srimad Bhagavatam is nothing but to develop love for Krishna, and that is the purpose of Krishna's appearance in this world, to develop love for Krishna, and that is there. So when compared to the love for Krishna, then these all things are very insignificant. It's very compared, it's very, very less, nothing in front of the love for Krishna, and that is the moksha lakuta krita. Then another is actually Krishna gives immense pleasure, and devotional service is such a process that never devotees never would feel this material happens is the most. And even if anybody engages in this material activities in this world, they exhaust. They cannot continue with it, right? Many people in this world, they go and they try to get everything, that happiness, but there's some extent after they exhaust. Even rasagula is so good, but how many rasagula we can eat? It's called bhoga tyaga. It's known as bhoga and tyaga. We get enjoyed a little bit, and the next moment we tyaga, we reject it. Something we get it, we reject it. Something we get it, we reject it. And this is the nature of this material world. But it is mentioned that by Krishna, by the loving devotional service to Krishna, the pure devotion to the Krishna, Krishna gives, they deride from this material happiness, and they come to the pure spiritual platform, and they come to that state of eternal blissfulness. And that eternal blissfulness is known as Sandrananda. It is condensed bliss. Sandra means condensed. It's a condensed bliss. They come to that state of condensed bliss, and Krishna makes sure that Krishna reciprocate to their devotees accordingly. They always, have that condensed bliss and Sandrananda Visheshatma. And the next one is actually known as Sri Krishna Akarshani. The pure devotional service attract Krishna. We know that there are so many examples out there. I just put few examples of in Udupi. Udupi, we know that the Krishna temple in Udupi. I think many of you know that how this deity came to Udupi, Sri Krishna temple in Bangalore. It's not exactly Bangalore, maybe some 60 miles away from Bangalore. And it's very, very beautiful to know that the pure devotee, how the Lord is reciprocating to the devotees. We know that this deity of Krishna is actually which was worshipped by Mother Rukmini in Dwaraka. Mother Rukmini heard wonderful pastimes of childhood pastimes of Krishna, but Mother Rukmini was not present. Mother Rukmini was married to Krishna when Krishna became youth, but Mother Rukmini heard lots of pastimes of Krishna, Racing the Govardhan, butter thief, and wonderful, wonderful pastimes of killing the lots of, and even Mother Rukmini was very much interested in that Balakopala form and the Balakopala. And Mother Rukmini was desiring this. One day, Mother Rukmini mentioned to Krishna that I would like to see that form, oh Lord, oh my Lord. Krishna became exactly like that childhood form of Krishna and manifested before Mother Rukmini. And Mother Rukmini was so much attracted to this form of Krishna. And it manifested as a deity for Mother Rukmini. And it is self-manifested. Mother Rukmini started to worship. And then we know that later the pralaya came, the water came, the ocean came on the Dwaraka. And then what happened? Eventually, this deity of Krishna became, became within the mud of the Dwaraka, and it became within the mud of the Dwaraka. And then later, after so many years, I mean, even we can say that even 300 years back, that Madhavacharya was, we know that great sages, great people, great brahmanas, they go to the ocean shore, they do their Sandhya Vandan, go to the ocean shore and do the Sandhya Vandan. Madhavacharya was doing the same, and this time there was a ship is actually, coming from the, the west side of it and to this, south side, and all on a sudden, so that there is a great this ship is actually kind of shaking in so much of turbulence, and there is a big wind and rain, even far away, that the ship was like shaking like anything, and as if it is going to destroy by the wind and the rain. And Madhavacharya saw this, and Madhavacharya is a great devotee of the Lord. And Madhavacharya just took his veil and just waved. And all on a sudden, all the wind and this hurricane, this rain and thunderstorm, everything stopped. Everything stopped. And the captain of this ship so pleased and saw that something has happened. And he also saw that something has happened there. And he saw a great sage, devotees on the bank, on shore of the ocean. And he came towards him, and he put the ship there, and he came out of and paid the obeisance to this great devotee, and offered the obeisances and requested. And I feel that this is by your mercy that is something happened, miracle happened, and please ask me what can I do for you. And Madhavacharya requested nothing but actually, in your boat there is a chunk of clay that if you can give me that is a gopi chandan, and this captain is actually going to Dwaraka, getting collecting all these antiques and all these devotional items, bringing to the south, and he's selling it, and that was his business. Madhavacharya could understand that there is something special is there, and Madhavacharya mentioned that please bring the chunk of clay and bring to me, and if you can give me, that would be a great help. So this captain was very much happy and very much happy to give that. Brought, this is a big chunk of clay, and brought to that, it's heavy, and as soon as it's brought to the shore of the ocean and brought to Madhavacharya, is broken apart itself, and there is a beautiful deity of this Balakopala, and it's broken apart, beautiful deity. Madhavacharya and this captain also surprised, and Madhavacharya was so much jubilant and so much seeing that beautiful form of Krishna, and see how Krishna is reciprocating his devotees, that Sri Krishna Akarshani devotees attract Krishna, loving devotional service attract Krishna. Madhavacharya took, it is very heavy, and Madhavacharya took and went up to all the hills of Udupi and established this deity there, and it was there for a long time. And then there was a devotee of Krishna, and his name was known as Kanagadas. Kanagadas is actually from a lower caste, and those days, I mean, even we can say that even 100 years back, even this discrimination of higher caste and lower caste is very prominent in most of the places of India. I mean, even still there. So this Kanagadas was a devotee of Lord and heard from a great, saintly person is Vyasatirtha, as a great devotee, and heard lots about Krishna from this great sage of great devotee of Vyasatirtha. And this Kanakadas wanted to see the Krishna, the beautiful form of Krishna. But because of his status of lower caste, and this Martha Brahmanas on the temple, they are not allowing to enter, or this Kanakadas to the temple. And Kanakadas was very much disappointed, very, very much disappointed. And he just sat little, further, then sat there, and he was shedding the tears. Why it is happening? Why the Lord doesn't have any kind of this kind of discrimination of whether he is Brahmana, he is Kshatriya, he is that. He always look for the devotees, and as my guru said, great devotee says that Krishna is equal to everyone, and especially he is very dear to his devotees, irrespective of his caste, creed, and color. This great devotee of Krishna's are Krishna is very dear to his devotees. Why it is like this? And he started to compose, these all his inner feelings, his questions and inner feelings to Krishna. And then weeks passed without any food, without any water. So much absorbed in Krishna's love and this injustice, and he was raising this concern. So Krishna, this pure devotion attracts Krishna. So usually every temple, they install the deities towards the east. So pretty much according to the Vastu, the deities are installed, in the temple towards the east. And there is a nice gopura towards the east. Pretty much every temple, except few. And all on a sudden, the deity turned around to Kanakadas, where Kanakadas was sitting in the south side, and turned around, and not the south side, it's the west side. They turned around to the west side, and then all on a sudden, even in the temple Garbhagriha, there is a small crack, and there is made a hole that Krishna was giving darshan to the Kanakadas. And still it is there. And this window, then they made it as a window now. And if you go to Udupi temple, you cannot see through Krishna through the main entrance. You have to come to the behind, and you have to see through that hole, that small window that's known as Kanakadas window, and then through, and you can see through Krishna only through that window. And Krishna, this pure devotional service attracts Krishna. It's no doubt that. And then, since then, actually, everybody is seeing the darshan through that window, and they made a temple made like that. And they made a wonderful, smaraka for Kanakadas, and everybody appreciated the love and the devotion for Kanakadas having for, Krishna. So Sri Krishna Akarshini, that means Krishna reciprocate to the devotees. Accordingly, Krishna personally appear before them. Krishna personally serve the devotees. There is a nice pastime even happened in Guruvayur temple. Krishna personally comes. There is a great devotee of the Lord known as Kuru Rama. He's very old, but became old and cannot do every day, morning and evening. Wonderful plucking the flowers, breaking nice bhoga for the Krishna, the Lord, for his deities. Again, the Balagopala deities. And became very old and now cannot do anything, and saying to these deities of Krishna, oh Lord, that I cannot, I became so old now, I cannot do anything now, and how can I worship you? One day, this Kuru Rama saw a boy came to this Kuru Rama's house. A little boy, beautiful boy. And this boy said, where are you come from? Where did you come from? He said, I live in nearby village. And your Karyastha, your caretaker is actually asked me to come here, and I saw that you are struggling and asked me to come to help you. And this boy came here, and Guru Rama thought that, yes, and this is, I get some help. So what he was doing, he's plucking the flowers, he's helping in making the bhoga, he's always around this Amma, this Guru Rama, always around. And then one day, the great sage Vilumangalam Thakur came, not that the Vilumangalam Thakur on the Vrindavan, that is 700 years back, And this another Villamangalam Thakur is a great devotee of the Lord. Come to Guru Ayur and then heard about that, the bhakti of this Guru Rama, and Villamangalam Thakur came to the Guru Rama's house. And the devotees see Krishna. This is how Krishna reciprocated, how Krishna giving that spiritual vision to his devotees. And then we can all see, not really through our eyes. That is just one part of the real vision. But the real vision is actually our spirit soul is seeing Krishna. The spirit soul has all the capabilities. Angani yasya sagalendriya Briti Vandi Pashindi Pandi Kalenda Chiram Jagandi Ananda. Yeah, that means Angani yasya sagalendriya Briti Vandi. Every anga of Krishna is possible, is able to see things. That's the spirit soul. Spirit soul is exactly the part and parcel. The spirit soul, the spirit soul is invoked in loving devotion to Krishna, that unite that relationship. When we come to that platform of that spiritual realization that invoke that spirit soul into the platform of Krishna consciousness, then we can see through our spirit soul that Krishna everything. Krishna reciprocate to that devotees accordingly. The devotee sees Krishna not through even the ordinary eyes. His soul comes within. His experiences within, realizes within the devotee of Krishna. So this Villamangalam Thakur seeing Krishna, this boy, it's not an ordinary boy. And this boy was taking all the work in the Guru Rama's house, when washing the pots. And Villamangalam Thakur, and even when Guru Rama was offering the bhoga to the deity, and all on a sudden is disappearing, and Guru Rama saw that this boy's mouth, that prasadam which is offered, bhoga which is offered to Krishna, the deity of Krishna, this boy's mouth actually has the same prasadam, same bhoga. And Guru Rama even offered a couple of times and looked at Villamangalam Thakur, what is going on here? So Villamangalam Thakur saw that this original Krishna is standing before them, and Krishna gave darshan to Guru Rama. And then it's mentioned that Guru Rama also went back with that same body to the abode of the Lord. So many likes that, so many examples like that there. So Krishna reciprocated his devotees like this. And even we can see that in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a nice pastimes between a devotee of Kalidas and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kalidas was the uncle of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. We can know that's how Raghunath Goswami was the richest person on that time. They were all very, very rich person. And Kalidas was very much, completely surrendered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the pure devotion to Krishna. And you know what Kalidas was doing? He bring valuable jewels, gift to the devotees of the Lord, Brahmanas of the Lord and the devotees of the Lord. Kalidas will give this gift and this to the Brahmanas and the devotees of the Lord, and request them, can you give me your remnants of food, what you left over on your palm, leaf, banana leaf, or the plate? They would so much astonished that what you are mentioning. We are so, not pure that this, I'm not a devotee, how can you take that? Then this Kalidas goes and hide behind their homes or some bushes. Whenever they throw their remnants on the leaf, on the ditches or somewhere around, Kalidas will go and eat. That the remnants of the Mahaprasadam, which is, consumed by the devotees. And one day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Jagannath Puri temple, and usually there is on the south side, there is a small ditch there, everybody wash their feet and get into the, temple. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came there, and Kalidas was there. Kalidas got a leaf. Whatever the water washed on the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he hold it in this leaf and then drink it. First time washed it, he got it and drink it. Second time he got it on the leaf, he drink it. Third time also he got it and drink it. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, enough. I have given you enough in your life. I have given you enough in your life. You don't need any more. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord. Understand the bhakti of Kalidas, and then mentioning that I have given you enough. What does that mean by enough? I have given you enough bhakti that I give you. And this is what the pure devotion, the devotional service to the Supreme, which attracts Krishna in so many ways, So let me summarize and let me conclude this class. Let me summarize. So Krishna reciprocate to his devotees, no doubt into that, in so many ways. Krishna reward them accordingly how they surrender unto me. So wonderful to understand this fact. In devotees' life, Krishna should be the foremost and integral part of their life. In devotees' life, Krishna sees that devotees, Krishna makes sure that the devotee progress in his life, devotional path, devotional life. Krishna makes that sure that he is free from all his distress of anarthas. These anarthas are the 6 steps before that we can enter into the abode of Krishna. There are 6 steps. We have to cross over these 6 steps. These are the 6 steps. Each one we have to cross over. Then we can enter into the abode of Krishna. And Krishna makes sure that the sincerity and the pure devotion of the Krishna makes sure that these 6 anarthas goes away from the heart of the devotees. Kleshakni, distress, relief from the Kleshakni, Subhada, also all auspicious. Krishna makes sure that devotees progress, and Krishna makes sure that the need of the devotees, not the greed of the devotees, but the need of the devotees, Krishna makes sure that they attain the love. So we gradually progress from this path of our sadhana bhakti, and then that consists of Vaidhi bhakti, the rules and regulation, then spontaneous love. Then we come to the bhava bhakti, ecstatic loving symptoms for the Lord. Bhava bhakti, ecstatic, and cannot separate from Krishna. And then the prema bhakti, that the pure, and that's the topmost of that. In that state of loving devotional service of Krishna, and Krishna even cannot separate from that devotee. Krishna comes. This devotee attracts Krishna. Krishna comes to that devotee in all respect. And there are so many examples out there. And this is the way Krishna reciprocates to his devotees in various ways. And ultimately, and Krishna sees the devotees, and it's all mercy of Krishna, nothing separate from Krishna. So the devotee's life, if anything happens, take it as a blessings, because of Krishna is making sure that he progress in devotional path. One day Krishna and Balaram was going around in Dwaraka, and then Krishna came to see that, and came to a rich man's house. And rich man saw Krishna, and Krishna blessed rich man's. So you will have more richness, more opulences. And came to another Brahmana devotee's house. Krishna blessed him. You become poor and, more focused. So Balaram asked Krishna, what kind of blessings you are giving? One rich man, this poor man needed all this, is needed, and he need, all this, opulence, at least some extent. But rich man, you are giving so much opulences to the rich man. Krishna said, I know this devotee. This is a devotee of his, my pure devotee of me. If I give richnesses, that is an obstruction to his devotional path. That I am not giving good for him. He can easily, change, or some extent get attract. Even a tinge of deviation, Krishna doesn't like. So Krishna wanted that every devotee to completely, unto him, completely love him. So Krishna making sure that. So then Balaram understood. So that this devotee, this poor devotee of Brahmana, pure devotee of Krishna, will attain Krishna even in this lifetime. But think about the other hand, he may have this temporary richnesses for some period of time. Then what would happen to his next life? He may not have anything like this. That is his karma. That is the materialistic side of it. He has to go through these reactions of his activities. But when it comes to the spiritual platform, the devotional platform, he is protected by the Krishna. Mahatma namstu mam partam devim prakriti masradaha. Krishna says that devotees are under my protection. So Krishna reciprocate accordingly to the devotee's life in so many ways. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to understand this in detail. And thank you so much for listening. And if I made any comments, inappropriate or it's not right, please pardon me. It's not, it's completely my mistake. If I anything said, then it's all mercy of the Lord and the devotees and my guru. So this is the fact and the importance of how we have to see Krishna. So we have to surrender under Krishna. We have to fully engage in his loving devotional service. It's all mercy. Nothing is that people, many times people say, oh, I did so much of, I don't have done so much of things. But think about it. Even we are getting a chance. Even we are chanting this holy name once using his tongue. It's his mercy only. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this. After many, 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 many lifetimes of pious credits, pious things, pious deeds, pious activities, one who is able to come to the state of devotional service and even chant the holy name using his tongue. Otherwise, it's not possible. It's mercy of Krishna. Always remember that it's the mercy of Krishna. It's not that our own thing. Yes, endeavor should be there. That's our sincerity. That's our heart we show. And Krishna reciprocate to devotees accordingly. So with this note, I would end here. Thank you so much for joining and listening to this. Hare Krishna. If there is any reflections or I would like to hear anybody's has any other realizations and reflections on this topic, please, or any questions if you have. And thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna. Anybody has anything to add?
Thank you, Simheshwar Prabhu. Hare Krishna. All glories to you.
Thank you.
Nicely brought the 6 points Rupa Goswami is mentioning. Then last one, the story you mentioned about the Kalidas. So I want to add the 1 point which Prabhupada mentions in the purport, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So to attract Krishna, to develop Krishna Prema easily, 3 things one should do, which is taking the dust of the lotus feet of pure devotee, and taking the water washed lotus feet of pure devotee, and
Yep.
taking the remnants of the Mahaprasad, which Kalidas got all of them. He's always eagerly looking from beginning to end. Whole life is after the devotees, serving the devotees and taking the
Yes.
remnant. Even if they don't give, then he is hiding. And then he
Yep.
did the same thing with Mahaprabhu also, and Mahaprabhu had to stop him. Even
Yep.
after that, then he brought Mahaprasad of Jagannath, and he took, and then he told his servant Govinda, go and give this prasad to Kalidas, he's waiting outside.
Yes.
So in this way,
Exactly.
Kalidas so much eager. So
Yep.
Prabhupada is mentioning we should be eager in this way to do these 3 things.
Yes. Then remember that it is a mercy of Krishna if somebody has that kind of mood of serving devotees. Think about that. It's not that so many times people are so proud of it. Oh, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. There is nothing to proud of, but we have to completely pray to Krishna that please give me that mercy. If I have some, that's a mercy of Krishna. Everything happens in the devotees. It's mercy of Krishna. It's not that something. It's a mercy of Krishna. Sincere effort. Thank you so much for bringing that point. Yeah, there's a lot about the Kala. There's a lot of wonderful, and there is nice pastime with Eduna Thakur and Kalidas and the dealings between and looking for the Eduna Thakur was a very low born. I mean, according to the this customs over there, and but a great devotee of the Lord, but didn't post that he is a great devotee. But this devotee of Kalidas understood the greatness of Eduna Thakur, requesting to Eduna Thakur that give me some remnants. One day he brought mangoes and offered to Jagannath Thakur, and then he was waiting for the seed of that Jagannath Thakur, that mangoes which he given to the devotee, and taking the remnants, which is so pretty much all mouth this mangoes that ate Jagannath Thakur, and he threw it outside, and Kalidas came and ate and licked that the rest of the the mango seed. So this is it's not that, yes. I mean, the point is here that we should always look for the service of the devotees. And if any way that we can serve the devotees mercy, remember that this is a mercy from Krishna, always. Reciprocate accordingly. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Krishnama and the Prabhu brought that point. It's wonderful. Yes. Thank you.
Jadu Thakur, yeah, that's a
Yep.
wonderful pastime.
Yep. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Anybody else? Yes, I think Amrudan the Prabhu was. Please
Hare
go ahead.
Krishna, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Liked it very much. The pastimes of various devotees that you shared would be Shri Krishna. Prabhu, I had one question. Now you said the 6 ways Krishna reciprocates, makes everything auspicious, removes all the material obstacles and so on and so forth. This is for a pure devotee who is here in the material world, correct? Or how would that work in a spiritual world? There is no inauspiciousness in Goloka, for example.
Correct.
So this is specific to pure devotees who are in the material world, correct?
Correct. Your devotees in material world.
Okay.
See, our existence itself is here in this material world. Yes, is of Krishna's mercy, as we know that the story of Gopakumar. You know that, right? The
Yes.
final state of Gopakumar, when Krishna met with the Gopakumar, Krishna was telling to Gopakumar, every lifetime that I am looking at you and seeing that whether you are turning towards me or not. Every lifetime. And when I see that you are not coming to me, you are not turning towards me, I was the one who is so disappointed. And I was tearing, I was having, tears in my eyes because of then Krishna was putting all the efforts to bring back Gopakumar back to. It's actually that that Gopakumar was as a close associate of Krishna. Like later we realize that it reveals that Gopakumar's original identity as the gopi, right? And then Krishna was telling this. So our existence in this world is actually to purify ourselves enough so that we have the complete understanding. We are completely devoid of all this material contamination or material, whatever, even if little it is there, to purify that. So our complete existence is here. So the devotees see or taking it as the Krishna's mercy so that he can, in the spiritual world, there is nothing like, what is opulence there? In the spiritual world, what is the use of even Chindamani is there, but what is the use for that for the devotees? To serve Krishna, to serve Krishna, to serve Krishna, everything to serve Krishna, nothing else. So one has to come to that state of consciousness so that everything, even I don't exist, that I is not there, that Ahankar is gone, false ego is gone, but my identity is now to serve that Krishna completely. So that Krishna, so that is gone completely. So our existence is here on the material world and spiritual. It's that existence here can help. And Krishna making sure that, we make progress into that. So Krishna, if we put one step, Krishna gives 100 steps. Krishna reward them accordingly. So then we progress further and further and further, completely free from our impurities and the contaminations. And then we attain Krishna. And then now there, nothing else. Krishna is the supreme, supermost. And, that goes. So then when you say material world and the spiritual world, yes, this is for the spiritual material world. And once he attains Krishna, never comes back into this material world again. Oh, Arjuna, Krishna says that. Idi gatva na nivartande tam sadaiva bhajamyaham. Idi gatva na nivartande tadhama paramam mama. One who reaches my abode never returns into this material world again. Oh, Arjuna. Right? So that's the is that answered your question, Rohit? Is it little? I mean,
Yes, Prabhu, perfectly.
I
Thank you
mean,
so much.
I'm not
Thank you.
qualified to
No,
answer
perfect.
here.
Lovely. Thank you for the class, Prabhu. Very informative. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Anybody has? Okay. Okay, if there is nothing else, then thank you, everybody. I would hand over to Madhumati Proji further announcements and further part of this program.